5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Two white Muslims.
Go.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi.
Wa barakatuh.
My name's Junaid Rahim,
And my name's Mohammed Yusuf Bashforth.
and affectionately we're known as
The Two White Muslims. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa rahmatullahi.
Wa barakatuh.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Here we are again.
Welcome to life.
Yes, as we keep saying, they've let us in again.
Oh.
They've let us in again. We are here in front of sliders and well, not we. We are here. Brother Yusuf here
I'm in front of
is in
sliders
front
and
of
buttons.
sliders and buttons, and I am in front of a microphone with my feet up.
That's true. Your typical pose.
Yes, my typical
Typical
pose.
pose.
But do you know what I've got in front of me?
You've got your list.
I've got a list.
You've got my glasses.
I've got your glasses so I can read the
You
list.
haven't even noticed.
What?
They're my new glasses.
There's some heft.
They're my new
There's
glasses.
some weight to these.
And people say you should have gone to Specsavers.
Right.
I did.
You did. I'm going to say there's some
did.
weight to these.
And
The
I
ones
got-
I've got are really light.
I got two pairs,
Yep.
exactly the same.
Oh,
Because
brilliant.
I liked them.
Brilliant.
I liked those frames.
Yes.
So I got them.
And they work.
And they're just 2 times readers, because
Yep.
that's all I need.
Yes.
And the good thing is that I had my eyes tested. I couldn't believe this. Right. So I go, because I'm diabetic,
Yep.
I get to go to hospital
Oh, yes.
once a year
Yeah.
and have a thing called a retinopathy test.
Okay.
So they photo your eye and look particularly at the blood vessels at the back of your eye,
Okay.
because
Gosh, how clever
those
is that?
blood vessels pop in diabetic
Ooh,
patients
wow. Okay.
and cause blindness.
Oh, that's
So,
not good.
The last thing you want is for that to develop.
Yes.
So they do an eye test every year.
Yep.
Where they take a photo of it and then they do a thorough eye test once a year in hospital.
Yep.
And they've got all the proper machines to do this. They've got scanners and
Yes.
they've got all sorts
Yes.
going on. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah.
What's
So-
that? It's the back of my own eyeball.
I thought, yeah, what, hey, where's
Hey,
that then?
how could that
It's
be
the
the
back
back?
of your, it's the back of your eyeball.
Yeah.
How can you photo that? It's okay, because you've got an opening at the front.
Yeah.
And we shine the light straight through and go
Wow.
flash, and all of a sudden your entire eyeball is
Wow.
illuminated, and we can see the blood vessels.
Oh,
in
my
there. It's
goodness.
incredible.
Sorry, carry on.
So-
Sorry, yeah.
I go for this once a year.
Yep.
At the hospital, and it is our dear brother and great friend Ezzeddin Lahishi
Is it?
who does my retinopathy test for me,
Wow, bless
and he
him.
is so lovely.
Yes.
He's
Yes,
such
yes,
a
yes, yes, yes,
lovely
yes, yes.
guy. Love him to pieces.
Yep.
And he's also a Hafiz of the Quran. He's
Yep.
also his Quran recitation.
Yeah, thoroughly
is
wonderful
beautiful.
guy in all
He's,
ways, shapes, and
and,
forms.
his knowledge of hadith,
Yep.
you name it, the man is fantastic.
Yes.
But
And
he
just
does my
happens to be
retinopathy.
A really,
So-
really nice
so-
guy, too.
So, when I was in Specsavers
Yep.
with my missus,
Yes.
who decided to go for an eye appointment
Yep.
and decided that she wanted to change glasses,
Right.
because she was convinced her eyes have gone worse.
My eyes are failing.
If I fail it,
Who's there? Who's come to see me?
who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I'm your husband. I'm your husband. Can't you
Yes.
tell? Anyway,
it's me.
So she went for and I went to the counter and said, I think I may be a little overdue for my eye test. You keep sending me reminders.
Right. How long
And
have
she
we been doing
looked at
that?
me, she said,
17 years.
She looked at me and she said, we only send a reminder once a year. I said, yeah, I've had loads. She said, what's your name? Let me check up. It was 5 years.
She blew the dust off your
5
files.
years. And she said, 5 years? Why haven't you been in 5 years?
Eh.
I said, well, I go to the hospital for a retinopathy appointment every year.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
figured that was enough.
Yeah, and I can
And
see
she
to
just
drive.
She just went, no.
Oh.
We look for different things.
Yeah, that's health, that's not sight.
We look for different things. I went, oh, right, okay. So, well, I'll tell you what then, while I'm here, can you fit me in?
Yeah.
I'll see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Laughed at me out loud.
Yes.
And then said, I'll see what I can do.
Yes.
As luck would have it, yeah, one of the patients hadn't turned up.
Oh, wow.
So actually, if you take a seat there, you might...
Did you laugh at her then?
Yeah. So
Who's laughing now?
Who's laughing? I should have done. She said, before you sit down,
Yes.
yeah, can I just go through some details and
Right.
make sure our records are straight?
Yes.
Is this your number? Yes, it
Yes.
is. Is this your address? Yes, it
Yes.
is. Do you want to receive reminders by text, or email. I said, well, it doesn't matter. Look,
It doesn't matter.
I ignore them anyway.
Just send one. Just send one in 5 years.
It doesn't
Should we
matter.
just agree 5 years from now?
And then she said, okay, take a seat and they'll call you through shortly.
Yep.
Yeah. I said, oh, thank you very much. So who do I pay? And do you know what she said? You're diabetic, you don't have to pay.
Oh,
You
free
don't-
eye test.
Free eye test.
Diabetic.
And
Yes.
I said, if I'd known that, I'd have been here
Exactly.
5 years ago.
Exactly.
Why did somebody tell me it was
Yes.
free?
Yes.
Anyway, so I got my free eye test.
Yep.
My eye test showed that my eyes have not deteriorated. My sight hasn't
Wow.
deteriorated at all in 5 years.
Wow. It's always been this bad.
Exactly the same prescription, which isn't even a prescription. It's just 2 times readers.
Wow.
required.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
which is just basically your eyes need a bit of help.
bit of help
when it comes to
magnifying
reading.
at close range.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Because my lens isn't as flexible as it used
Yeah.
to be, and
yeah.
it doesn't.
It just happens
focus
naturally, doesn't it? Yeah. Mine's
at-
exactly the same.
at close range.
Yeah.
So when
I
you're
need
reading,
1.5
for example,
as it
which is
happens.
why they call it reading glasses.
Yeah.
So when
yeah.
you're reading, it just enables you to eyes to
Yep.
focus on the print, so you
Yep.
can read it clearly.
Yep.
So I got some new frames, which I'm really
Wow.
pleased with, and you've nicked them today.
I have,
You've nicked them.
I
You've
have.
nicked my frames.
as I've been reading
So-
through my list.
So here's me, blind as a.
Yep.
Well, I'm not actually.
No.
But close work on the computer is a bit
Bit
complicated.
of a challenge because
Yeah.
it's got big buttons on that thing. Luckily,
Luckily, I've got big buttons
And you know where they
sliders, and
are.
I know what they are.
exactly.
Yes.
They're all different colours,
Yeah.
which helps.
And if I'm asked to read that chart on the wall behind you, I can read it
You can
clearly.
do that because it's at distance.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that's close up.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway, I don't know where that came from.
Nope, not
what,
sure.
What were we talking about?
Well, it's not on my
Oh,
list.
yeah, my specs.
No, your specs, because I'm using them to read my list.
Yes.
Here we go.
So have we got a list?
We have.
Good.
Do you know, Kel Surprise, we might just be talking about alcohol
Okay.
because it's kind of what we do.
Are we proving ourselves right?
We're
again?
proving ourselves right.
Okay.
Because how much alcohol should people consume?
None.
How much is recommended?
None.
How much do we, within our wonderful religion, consume?
None.
Nil. Nada. Not a
Zilch.
drop. So we're going to have that conversation yet again.
Okay, to prove that we are right.
Yes.
To prove that our religion is right.
Yep.
Because Allah, let's face it, kind of knows us better than we know
Exactly.
ourselves. Yeah, and if he says,
Exactly.
you shouldn't be doing this,
Yep.
lads, then don't do it.
Yes. And then it's backed up with a whole load of facts, one of which we're going to discuss a little bit later on.
Inshallah. Yeah,
We're
perfect.
also going to look at a whale.
Okay.
A very, very, very large whale.
I love whales.
So do I.
They're amazing creatures.
This one, unfortunately, it's popped off its mortal coil.
Oh,
However, it's where it's ended up that's amazing.
a deceased whale?
It's a deceased whale.
Well, presumably it's ended up at the bottom of the ocean.
You
doing
would
fish
think
food.
so. Or maybe even floating or on a beach. No,
Yeah.
none of the above.
Really?
So we're going to have a little look at that. Then we're going to consider,
It's a bit weird.
shall we say, racist folk.
Okay.
We are going to have a little conversation about racist folk. 'cause
They
we're
do-
going
they
to
do.
explore.
They do two things to me.
Go on.
They make me annoyed,
And,
laugh.
yeah, yes, they are the gift that keeps giving.
They just
They
make
just
me laugh.
are. And we're going to
So-
consider
that's
when
so
they
stupid.
cloak themselves
Yeah.
in the flag of St. George.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to consider what that represents.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
we're
think
going to
I know
look
where
at
this
that
is going. I think I
a
know where
little
this
bit
is going.
later on.
Yeah.
That a little bit later on.
Inshallah.
In and amongst everything else that we will end up talking about.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Let's face it.
But there are key touch points. Oh no, and I also want to. Something's happened in church.
Okay.
Something has happened in church, which means that a certain thing will not be happening in church, and it's no longer a guarantee going forward. A 400-year-old rule has been removed, and I think it's a little sad.
church?
So we're going to talk that in church. We're going to talk about that as well. So in and amongst all the other rubbish that we end up talking about,
That's if we get to any of these
that's
things. on
assuming
this
we get to any of those. There's our touch points for today.
Well, I'm quite excited about those.
Me too.
Yeah.
Now-
I like Wales.
As your the country or the mammal?
The mammal, of
The
course.
mammal, of course, confirmed.
Wales is beautiful.
I love Wales as well. I know it is stunning. When we've been down to Wales many times,
Many times.
and
It's beautiful.
you can go down through the motorways,
Yep.
and it's lovely. You
Yep.
can go down through the other.
Do you remember when
countryside
my
is
sat
incredible.
nav let us down?
Yes, I do.
And it decided not to take us the motorway route,
Yep.
and decided to take us up the little windy
Up
roads,
the little
all the way
windy
up the
roads.
middle.
I mean, it was stunning.
It was gorgeous.
It took an extra 6 hours, but it was stunning. You know,
we had plenty of time to take
we had
in the scenery. didn't we?
plenty of time to take
Yeah.
in the scenery. Of that, there's no doubt.
Especially when we got stuck behind a milk float,
Yes,
a tractor,
and a single carriageway,
and a bus,
a bus, cement lorry,
cement lorry,
Yeah.
and a very, very large juggernaut that couldn't take corners properly.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we got stuck behind one of the. We were always stuck behind one
at
of
least
those.
one of those.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know what Sat was doing? Giggling. She was giggling. Turn left in 3 miles. That'll be about an hour.
Yeah.
She kept saying. I don't know why she went Irish on that one. Be about an hour. Oh, big on her. Extraordinary. But yes, so that's our little list.
Okay.
That's what we're going to be talking through today.
Inshallah, we'll get on with that just as soon as we've done a bit of this.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Did I get that one in? Did I get that one in? I'm telling you, sorry, I was just clearing my throat. And then, literally, as you were doing it, I saw the mic live come on.
I tell you.
Yeah, we're good at this.
Listen, my missus. You know we're good at talking about my missus.
Yes. Yeah, she loves it.
She had a real go at me the other day.
Really?
Honestly, I thought this is the end.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I thought this is it. This is it. This is the bit where one of us has got to go.
Friend.
I was foolishly, I was kicking ice cubes around the kitchen floor. I mean, it's all right now. She came in, had a proper go, and I get that she did. But now it's all right. It's all forgiven.
Sorry.
It's now. It's now all. It's now all water under the fridge. Oh dear. I found that in a dad joke.
Oh, brilliant.
You know these dad jokes that come into your phone?
Yes.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yes. Oh, there's one that really stuck out for me.
Oh, water under the fridge.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. You completely got me there because I can actually see you kicking ice cubes around, and I can see the reaction it would get. I actually thought that was real. I actually thought that was true. Oh, I remember one of those jokes. It said, what does it say? It said, oh yeah. Do you know, recently my wife said there's 2 things that she really finds frustrating about me. Number 1, I don't listen, and something else.
Number 2, I don't know.
My wife said to me recently, are you listening to me? And I thought, that's a strange way to start a conversation. Yeah. My wife said to me, you're too immature. I said, shut up and get out of my fort. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Water under the fridge, that got me. The thing is, I was already gone to
I know.
the ice cubes. Oh, because I can see it.
Oh, great.
I can see
Great.
it. I can say it's something you would do.
You know, we should do more of this.
Oh, we should. Oh, dear me. It's something you should. It's something you would do.
I know.
And that would be the reaction you'd get.
I don't know why I'd do that. I'm still a small child.
You would. If you dropped it, you wouldn't pick it up.
I'll kick it.
You'd kick it
I'll
until
play football with it.
till it was water under the fridge. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Oh dear.
Anyway,
right.
was that on the list?
No. But I'm trying to think of a segue. It leads us nicely. No. Do you know what we're going to do?
Go on.
We're going to prove that the 2 white Muslims are right.
As always.
So people out there, our beautiful listeners, our family, which is growing day by day, many of them are going, oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Another one. Because guess what this is about?
alcohol.
It's about alcohol. How much alcohol is good for you?
0.
How much should you drink?
None.
How much is recommended within this beautiful religion?
Nada.
Nada. Nothing. There's a reason for it. Oh my goodness. EasyJet flight EZY1805 from Manchester to Iceland diverts after mid-air assault.
Oh, stop it.
Now, if we take the sensible part for a moment and we think about the terrible things that happened in New York in, was it 2001? Certainly on September the 11th.
Yeah.
Which they, for some reason, called 9/11, which is surely the 9th of November. But anyway, beside the point.
Yeah. Well, they always get that muddled up.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Americans.
Shambolic.
It's all confused. They got all the dates confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they always have had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear them talk about, the 531. How many months have you got?
I know.
How many months have you got? We only have 12.
Yeah.
Freaks. Plus, surely things should get bigger. So if you think, you have time, and then you have day, month, year.
Yeah.
They're getting bigger.
Yes.
So it's the 1st of February.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1st of March. Whatever it is. No. There you go. March of the 1st. What? That's
it's wrong. It's wrong.
No.
Can't
To
get
the
my head
point
around
where to the point where I do find myself, if I see somebody that's written the date and they've written March 1st,
Yeah.
I feel the need to respond saying
In an American accent.
saying something like, no, I think you'll find it's the 1st of March.
Yes.
Because what you've done there is Americanized it.
Yeah.
And we gave them the language.
We did. We lent it to them.
Lent it to the yeah.
They've changed it. They've broken it.
They've broken it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They spell colour.
So,
No, you.
The one thing that
Do you know what they say?
Go on.
Aluminum. Do you know what that is?
Aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yeah, I know.
Aluminium.
Yeah, why can't they say? Why can't they say
aluminum?
it?
Do you know what they say?
Go on.
They say math.
For maths.
Maths. For maths.
Yeah.
So they say, what have you got next? I've got math.
No, you haven't.
Just one of them.
Yeah. Is it
It's
just one?
mathematics.
It's just one adding.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Which
mathematical section are we covering today then? If we're just doing a singular math. We're just doing addition.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and then that works.
Do you know how they spell socks?
No.
SOX.
Really?
Socks.
They certainly do for the White Sox and the Red Sox.
That's how they spell socks.
Is that how they? Are you being serious?
Seriously, that's how they
spell socks.
the word.
SOX. That's not just
socks.
a baseball team.
Nope. That's how they spell that word.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know I'm going to have to Google this now?
You can Google as much as you like. You will find. So what we've proven beyond any doubt whatsoever this morning is that the two white Muslims are always
right,
and the Americans are always
wrong.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, a mid-air assault forced the captain of an EasyJet flight from Manchester to Iceland to divert to Edinburgh. The firm confirmed flight EZY1805 to Keflavik.
Keflavik. I've been there.
Was met by police in the Scottish capital at 17, and a disruptive passenger was removed. One witness told BBC News the passenger had smashed his own phone.
Okay.
Resulting in a smoke coming from its battery before a guy jumped out to stop it setting fire to the plane.
Oh.
So I'm going to carry on with this in a minute because we're going to figure out why he might have done this.
Okay.
But if we cast our minds back to 9/11 and the horrible events, I think people often forget there were people on them planes.
Yep.
And those people got on those planes to fly, whether it be for business or pleasure, whatever it might be, and they just got up one morning and they went out, they got on a plane and they flew, and somebody took over that plane and did a horrible thing with it. Tragic, awful, disgusting. Should never have happened. Terrible. And for somebody to now do this and put people's lives in jeopardy, must be terrifying. It's easy to laugh at.
Yep.
And we're going to.
Yep. Invariably.
But let's just think, there's some serious ramifications. So anyway, so setting that to one side, a guy jumped out to stop it, setting fire to the plane. Oh, for goodness sake. The battery started smoking, and so I felt I needed to do something about it. Okay. The Airbus A320. So it's not a small one.
It's massive.
Yes, not a small one. Was departed Manchester and then was having to be moved to Edinburgh. At 16:40 and just north of Glasgow, the plane turned and flew south towards Edinburgh, or well, it would be east, where it landed. Blah, 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 blah. The witness said, some drunk bloke kicked off and assaulted other passengers. What's the key word in that phrase?
It was, well, was it assaulted? No. Was it
No.
Was it passenger?
Was it passenger?
No.
No. Was it
bloke? No. It was drunk.
Some drunk bloke. Oh. When he realised we were landed in Scotland to arrest him, he kicked off and smashed his phone up. This snapped the battery, which started smoking on the aisle floor. So it's getting from bad to worse, this bloke. Oh, so he kicked off. It was a nightmare. And they said, right, we have to get this bloke off this flight.
Yep.
We have to get this bloke off this flight. So then they have to divert, which means that everybody else
is
inconvenienced. And everybody on all subsequent flights, because this plane is now going to be late.
Yeah.
Going to be delayed. And when you have delays, how frustrating is it? And it's not because of an accident. It's because of some freak. Oh. Yeah. While some incidents are rare, we take them very seriously and do not tolerate abusive or threatening behaviour on board, especially from those who've had
consumed. Yeah, absolutely.
Extraordinary.
Why should they? Why does anybody think it's acceptable to kick off and abuse other people?
Yep.
In any walk of life.
Yep.
Why do people think that's acceptable?
Yep.
First of all, but when you're on a plane, you have got to have the safety of everybody around you at the forefront of your mind, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not just talking about the pilot, co-pilot, and the crew.
Yep.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everybody. Everybody, because everybody wants a safe flight.
Yep.
Nobody wants a disrupted flight.
Absolutely.
I mean, that plane had to land again in Edinburgh and then take off again and land again in Keflavik.
Yep.
Yeah, so it had 2 takeoffs and 2 landings when it should have only had 1 of each.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of that is additional cost. It's additional time.
Yep, absolutely.
An inconvenience for everybody involved.
Everybody.
And it's one individual that's caused this.
The thing is, for those people who were changing at Keflavik to get another flight elsewhere, they'd have missed their connection.
Yes.
Oh.
All because
this guy decided to get drunk.
Yes.
And he couldn't. I'm hearing a lot of this.
I've been in airport lounges.
Yep.
I've never seen anybody force-fed alcohol. It's a choice.
They choose to throw that down their necks. Oh. They do. And I wonder, actually, is there? I'm going to ask one of the doctors about this.
Oh.
Because
is my opinion not good enough?
No, your opinion's fine. Your opinion's fine.
But
from time to time, I need to test it. To test your opinion. No, our opinion is absolutely bang on. That is wrong. Whichever way you look at it, it is wrong.
Yep.
But I need to know the science behind this, the medical science.
Yep.
Does going up in an airplane, does that affect the how drunk a person is? Does a person get more drunk at height than they do at ground level? Does that make sense?
It does.
So, does that affect them?
My immediate response would be no.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
I think what happens is people go into airports and think, 24-hour bar. But in any other walk of life, you would not drink 24 hours a day. You just wouldn't. But you can walk in. We've said this before.
My holiday starts here.
Yes, we could walk into an airport at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
No, that's not a good idea because some people might. It could be
9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And where we would go, what's for breakfast?
Yeah.
Somebody else would go, alcohol.
The bar's open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And start drinking.
It's
insanity. And you have to check in 3 hours before.
These people are insane.
And so they drink. Then by the time they get on the plane.
For 3 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
By the time they get on the plane, they are incoherently drunk.
Dancing it off or whatever.
No.
You know what I mean?
And they can't have a kebab.
Yep. Yes. Terrifying.
Terrible.
Terrifying. Anyway, that said, how much alcohol is good for you?
0.
How much should you have?
None.
And how much is recommended within this beautiful religion?
None. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Shall we forget that now?
I
Do
think
some,
good, yeah.
do some of this?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum
Wa rahmatullahi.
wa barakatuh.
Do you know?
Go on.
I heard something. Some news was released. To be fair, a short while ago.
Yep.
But we've just not had a chance to cover it.
Okay. Has this one cascaded through several lists?
It hasn't been on any other list. We just haven't. It's been on
Oh,
a
okay.
list, but I've not
Right.
never even introduced
Never
it before.
even mentioned it. Okay, cool.
And I find it a little troubling.
Okay.
If I'm honest. And some people might not. Some people. Well, I'd be interested in your thoughts.
So will I.
Churches
Yeah.
are no longer required
Okay.
to do a Sunday morning service.
Okay.
Sunday service is no longer obligatory.
Okay.
I kind of have an issue with that.
I think that's a real backward step.
Yes.
That's a real backward
exactly.
step. You know, the thing is that okay, so we as Muslims,
Yep.
yeah, we agree that the Bible and all of Christianity,
Yes.
yeah, has kind of got an upgrade, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
It got
yes.
an upgrade 600 years after Jesus.
Yes.
In the form of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May the peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah be with him.
Be with him.
Who brought us throughout his lifespan the revelation of the Quran.
Yes.
So the Quran was revealed to him by the angel Gabriel directly from Allah, from heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, and he then recounted that to his companions throughout his lifetime, and it happened over a period of 23 years. Yeah, and his companions at the time remembered everything that he said, word for word,
Yes.
verbatim.
Yep.
And it became something that they recited at all times.
Yes.
So as the Quran was revealed and grew, their memories of the Quran grew with it, and they were in a position where they could literally recite it from start to finish.
Yes.
And then at some point after that, it was put into writing, and it gave us the book that we know today.
Yes.
But back in those days, it wasn't a book.
No.
The word Quran means recital.
Yes.
It's something that you learn and
Yep.
recite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the old poetry
Yes.
that people used to learn and recite.
Yep.
Yeah, and people got a lot of benefit from
Yes.
being able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Quran is poetry.
No, we're not
Some
saying
people
that at
have
all.
said that. I am not saying
But
that.
it is a.
What
What
I'm
I'm
saying
is,
is
it's a way of remembering.
People learn it.
Yeah.
And remember it,
And pass it on.
then recite it
Yeah.
to enable them to follow it,
And
to
then pass
act
it on
by
to
it,
others.
and
Yes.
then pass it on to others
Yes.
as well. So, for example, if every copy of the Quran was destroyed, then it would be rewritten inside a day.
Yes.
Because there are thousands of people around the world who can recite it cover to cover.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
And that was the word of Allah Himself, who said, "We will preserve this Quran.
Yes.
It will never be destroyed. It will never be
Yes.
changed."
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's how it's done. Yeah. By people remembering it.
Yep.
Okay. So Christianity got an upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah. In the form of the Quran
It was a progression.
and Islam.
Yes.
Islam came about to, shall we say, or dare we say, to repair some of the damage caused by humanity,
By people.
by
yes.
people,
By people.
who cherry-picked,
Yep.
for want of a better phrase,
Yep.
the bits of Christianity that they quite liked,
Yes.
and set aside the bits that they didn't.
Yes.
And they diluted the message,
Yeah.
and unfortunately it became very, very blurred. The lines were blurred,
Yeah.
the message was blurred, and Allah, in His infinite and beautiful wisdom,
Yeah.
decided it's time for an upgrade,
Yes.
lads.
Yes. A classic example.
Not in
being,
exactly those words,
maybe not
of
in
course,
those words,
but no.
But classic example being, I was raised with a copy of the King James.
King James Bible, yeah,
Bible.
yeah. I was
Which
raised
was
with a copy of the Douay Bible,
There you
which
go.
is the Catholic
Yes.
equivalent. Yeah,
So that was a Bible that was commissioned by
King James.
King James.
Yeah,
And it was a translation into
English.
English.
Yes.
From, was it Latin? Must have been Latin.
Must have been Latin
Yeah,
at that
from Latin.
stage, yeah.
Sorry, I went all for a minute. Yeah,
Yeah, must have been
from
at
Latin.
that stage, yeah.
So when the King James Bible,
Yep.
there's no guarantee it's exactly the same as the Bible that other
No.
people are looking
No,
at.
no,
And
no.
so there were differences. And if you think when you read the Holy Quran,
Yep.
you'll have several different as a translation. Well, I'll read it as a translation.
Yeah.
And within the one that I read, there'll be several different
Interpretations.
interpretations.
Yeah.
So that hopefully what you're getting is a
general overview.
general.
Yeah.
that-
And you
that will
make
be
your
good.
own mind
Yeah,
up. And you
exactly.
make, yeah. Or you seek scholarly advice from a scholar that you trust
Yes.
and agree with.
And
yeah.
up to that time, all services in this great British Isle of ours were conducted in Latin.
Yes.
And it was only with the King James Bible that changed.
Yes.
And all of a sudden they went, well, no, we're going to do this in English.
Do this in
going
English.
forward.
Why should we do it in English? Because that's the
Because
language
that's
of the
the language
people.
we speak.
Yeah.
But rather than doing both, they just went straight to English. Now,
Do you remember going to Latin masses? Did you ever go?
I never went to Latin because I was
we did-
Church
we
of
did.
England.
No, but,
It was
yeah,
all
of
English.
course, of
Yeah.
course. Well,
There was no
we
Latin.
We did.
Latin, that's
In the
like
Catholic-
Greek to me.
But in
Sorry, yes, you did.
in the Catholic Church,
Yes.
once a week,
Yeah.
an elderly priest,
Yeah.
used to conduct a Latin mass
Wow.
and it was
In Donios part.
11 o'clock
Yeah.
every Sunday morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were different services on a Sunday.
Yes.
You could go 8 a.m.,
Yeah.
9:30,
Yeah.
11,
Yeah.
and then there was one mid-afternoon
Right.
and one in the evening.
Yes.
So for any time of day during
Yep.
a Sunday,
You've
if it
got
was
no
Sunday,
you're going.
you have no
Yes.
excuse
Yep.
on a Sunday.
You're gonna don your
You
Sunday
go-
best.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
get your Sunday best on and go to church and sit through that service.
Yes.
So I regularly used to go to the Latin one
Yep.
because I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be up for 8 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yes.
You know,
11 o'clock
I
just
wanted to-
happened to be the right time.
I could wake up at 10 to 11 because
Yeah.
we lived opposite the church in those
Of course
days.
it did, yeah. Yeah.
And I could wake up at 10 to 11,
Stroll across.
have a quick wash, get some clothes on, and stroll
Yeah.
across, and I was in time for the Latin Mass.
Yes.
So I understand some of the Latin
Yeah.
because I knew the Mass in English,
Yeah.
and I
And then you heard it.
heard it in
Yeah.
Latin.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, but that it was an obligatory thing
Mm.
to attend church.
Yep.
To attend a service on Sunday.
On Sunday. Exactly.
So, how come then? Who
Yeah.
has said?
Right.
Somebody has said churches no longer are obliged to deliver services on Sunday.
Yes.
Well, that just flies in the face of everything that they've ever taught anybody.
And
Ever.
I mean, whilst maybe it would be lovely as a Muslim. It would be lovely if everybody was Muslim. It would be lovely if everybody came to the
Yes.
fold. It would be lovely if everybody followed that path.
Yes.
If they're not going to do that, then be Christian or Jewish, because
Yes.
at least you're celebrating Allah,
Yes.
albeit by a different name.
Yes.
But the same God, the
Yes.
same Allah.
Yeah.
And that's a good start, isn't it?
It
Do you know what
is.
I mean? Consider the alternative.
Yeah.
So brilliant. And 400 years ago,
Yes.
it was written as a rule that every Sunday, as you rightly say,
Yeah.
a sermon would be conducted, and it was kind of a rule that everybody attended.
Yes.
A weekly Sunday service will no longer be compulsory for churches after a vote to change a 400-year-old law was passed by the Church of England's ruling body. So it's not Catholicism, it's the Church of England, C of E, my old hood.
Yeah.
The General Synod voted to
Hood.
end the law dating back to 1603. If nothing else, it's a tradition.
Oh,
If
come on.
nothing else, it's a tradition which
hang on a
required
minute.
priests to hold a Sunday service in every church they looked after.
Right, I'm struggling here.
Yep.
Right, so give me the benefits of saying that churches are no longer obliged to conduct Sunday service.
No benefit, in my humble opinion. None.
None.
None. It says
So
the-
all it allows is for people to make their excuses and not go to church at all.
at all. But this is saying the priest doesn't even need to hold a service. So you might want to go, but there isn't one held in your church anymore because he goes to another one and does it there. Yes, and it's the.
I'll tell you what this is. Right, here's my
Bishop of Willesden.
Here's my
who
cynical
proposed
brain.
the change, called it out of date. How can going to church on a Sunday be out of date?
Okay, so here's my cynical brain.
Okay.
Okay, so the Church of England owns what?
Lots of land.
With churches on it.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Real estate.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, it's no secret, is it, that the congregations of churches has diminished
Well, this is what it's saying.
substantially over the last, say, 50 years.
Yep.
Yeah. No secret. The when you talk to young people, yeah, I can't remember where this came from, but I did hear it, and young kids in a school were asked the question, what is in church? What is there in a church?
Right.
Yeah, and this young kid put his hand up and said it's full of grannies and granddads.
Yeah.
That's what's in church.
Yeah.
And as that generation ceases to be, then it's not being
even them
replaced.
anymore. It's not empty seats.
Exactly, it's empty. Where the grannies and granddads used to be,
Yes.
it's now empty.
Yes.
So it's no secret the numbers have diminished to a stage whereby there is actually no point having churches in some districts because they're not utilised at all.
Which is what it's saying. Decades of falling church attendances have left some priests looking after up to 20 rural churches.
Yeah.
And they're saying that they can't get around all 20 on a Sunday, so they have to apply to the bishop to have special leave to not do services in those churches. And so a general rule has been put across saying, you don't have to do them. I'm sure it will be recommended, but don't have to do them.
Right. Well, in my cynical view, that has been put forward to enable the diocese to sell the land and church.
Cost-saving exercises.
Not just cost-saving, it's capital raising.
Oh, okay.
Capital raising.
Because the church is one of the richest organisations in the world.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Catholic Church may well be richer than the Church of England.
Probably is.
However...
vastly so.
Vastly so. But I would just say, well, have more priests and have them in those churches and make it so that they can do a service, so that if people want to attend a service in that church, they can.
Real shortage of priests. Not many of them, there are not, they do not have the numbers of people wanting to become priests.
Okay.
In the Church of England, they do, but controversially, a lot of them are
they people are they lady folk?
Lady folk,
okay,
wanting to be priests or priestesses.
Yep.
And in the Church of England, that's been ordained as being okay.
Yep.
In Catholicism, no,
okay.
It hasn't.
I just want to take this as an example.
Yep.
If anybody wanted to create a mosque, and allow people to go in for congregational prayer, who would they get to lead the prayers?
Who?
Yeah.
They get somebody that's knowledgeable with the Quran, can recite correctly, and that is willing to do.
Which can be
anybody.
Muslim.
Anybody.
You know what I mean? So if you have a group of people that want to utilise that hall, let's say, it becomes a mosque. The second somebody steps to the front,
absolutely,
raises their hands to Allah,
and says
invokes,
Allahu Akbar.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And then the prayer begins and people follow.
Do you know Islam?
Yeah.
It's perfect, isn't it?
Isn't it brilliant?
Isn't it amazing?
It's brilliant.
It's perfection.
My uncle was a priest.
Yes.
Catholic priest.
Yep.
And he went to college for 7 years.
Wow.
To study to become a priest.
Which is brilliant.
Fantastic.
I am not having a go at that in any way, shape or form.
Proper new stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, in my opinion.
But a
lot of his stuff was fundamentally flawed.
Right,
however,
but in his absence, what would happen if he was hit by a bus? And I mean this in the
they
nice
either find another priest, or shut the church down. Yeah, nobody
what they don't do is say, can
somebody in the congregation who knows the mass.
Yeah.
Can you step up, please, and conduct the service?
Well, we don't know the mass. Well, maybe we should all have learnt it.
Absolutely. How long have you been coming here?
Yeah.
Do you come in here with your ears plugged?
Yeah.
You know, if you come in here more than 10 times, you know the mass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard, but why can't they do that? Because
because it's a hierarchy, and they want to maintain that hierarchy.
Yeah, they
perhaps.
do. Yeah.
But then you're moving away from God, and you're moving more towards
business
and people.
Yeah.
No, we want our control. We want our.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds like I'm having a go. I don't mean it like that.
No.
I'm leaning towards the positive, which is Islam's just perfection.
Islam's amazing.
It's perfection. Yeah. So we could find ourselves on a desert island,
Yeah.
and we could establish a mosque.
Yeah.
And if there was just the two of it, one of us could go to the front
One of us could lead the prayer.
and lead the prayer,
Yeah.
and you are now in a mosque.
Yes.
And you're doing congregational prayer.
Yeah.
And the rewards are amazing.
Yes.
You wouldn't have to wait for a priest to get washed up as well.
No.
Do you know what aloe is?
Amazing. You just get
Amazing.
amazing. Amazing. Alhamdulillah.
So I found that a little disappointing because I just think, I love Christians. I love Jews.
I love all people.
I love all people,
All
but I
of them.
especially love all people of faith because
Yeah.
they love my God.
Yes.
They love him.
Yes.
They love my God.
They love my prophets.
And they should not be placed in a situation where their place of worship is under threat.
Yeah.
I just find that really sad.
That's very sad indeed. Very sad. Because we're then in danger of moving ever closer, and we are
Yep.
to a secular
society, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where
Where
people
there is no religion,
Well, there's-
no,
yeah.
no
and people
dominant
don't
faith.
have anywhere
and
to
people,
go
People have no outlet
Yeah.
for the practice of
to practice their religion in and amongst people of like mind.
That's a sad thing.
Just a little bit sad. I just found that really disappointing.
It's a good reason why people ought to take a look at Islam.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Islam is the truth.
Yes.
Islam is perfect.
Yep.
Islam is amazing.
Amazing.
Because
And you can have a mosque
Allah
anywhere.
is amazing, and He's made it that way.
Do you know where you can have a mosque?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Do you know where you can have one specifically?
Go on.
Top of a chicken shop.
And what they call it?
They call it the chicken
The
mosque.
chicken mosque.
And why are we laughing? That's our
Because
mosque.
That's our mosque.
That's our mosque. We go to the Abu Bakr Mosque.
Abu Bakr Siddiq Mosque
Abu
in
Bakr Siddiq
Wakefield.
Mosque in
Kirgate,
Wakefield. But when because we did a tour of mosques just recently, and as we went, and people go, so which mosque do you frequent? So well, we go to all. We go to loads of different mosques, but we regularly we go to our mosque. We go to the Abu Bakr Siddiq Mosque, and they go, chicken mosque.
Chicken mosque. And they always point
They always point up. They always point up the chicken mosque because it's a
Chicken
mosque
mosque
above
a chicken shop.
the chicken shop in Wakefield. They point up and go, chicken shop. Sorry, chicken mosque. Yes. Yes. Yes, that one.
Alhamdulillah.
How cool is that? What is Allah?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Do you know what else He is?
Go on.
He's merciful.
Yes.
Because He gave us
Coffee.
tea and coffee. Back after this. Assalamu alaikum
Wa rahmatullahi.
wa barakatuh.
Do you know, I had a really interesting conversation the other day.
Okay,
really-
couldn't have been with me.
No, wasn't with you. It wasn't, to be fair. It wasn't. Which is not, I need to put these glasses back on.
Hang on a minute, how
second.
dare you have a conversation with
somebody else.
other than me?
Yes, it was a member of my family.
That's all right then.
So, which could also have been you. Now, if I was to say to you, and I've put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Completely put
As
you on
usual.
the spot, as usual. Who is the patron saint of England? And I'm sorry to put you on the- George, well done,
Yeah.
well done. Now, first of all, what's he famous for?
Dragon slaying.
George and the Dragon. There you
Yeah.
go. You see, George and the Dragon. And the person I was having this conversation with was saying, that's ridiculous. What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
So what? And they couldn't get what the patron saint was.
No.
And they couldn't get that the patron saint of England was famed for killing a dragon.
Yes.
So I had to get out the Sheikh Google.
Yeah.
And we had a little look.
The font of all knowledge.
The font of all knowledge, and so we started having a look at Saint George. Now,
Yep.
what is the patron saint? Well, it is the saint that represents England.
The patron, yes.
Yes, it's the patron of, and Saint George is the patron saint of England.
England, yeah.
Brilliant. And we have the flag of Saint George,
The famous white flag with the
which
red
is
cross
the
on it.
White flag with the red cross on
Yep.
it. So, what do and I can only describe as racist individuals
Yep.
choose to adorn in order to demonstrate they are absolutely
Allegiance to the British.
Sorry, English. Forgive me, English.
English. Yeah.
Specifically English, because
English.
we'll look at the other ones in a second.
Well, they put the George flag up, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
And they say, we should be
adopted-
celebrating St. George's Day.
They do.
It should be marked in the calendar.
It
Do you know,
should.
people don't even celebrate. You go to America, they do St. Patrick, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Because they get to drink lots, which is the Irish
Ones, yeah.
one.
Because there's a massive contingent of Irish people in America.
However, so as a result, you'd kind of expect St. George to be the most English person you've ever come across.
Of course he is. He couldn't be any other.
Get ready. Who is St. George? St. George
Yes.
was a soldier
Yes.
of Palestinian and Greek origins,
Alhamdulillah.
and a member of the Praetorian Guard for Roman Emperor Diocletian. Diocletian. The Roman Emperor Diocletian. I'll cut the other bit out.
You need a time machine for that, mate.
Who was sentenced to death for refusing to recant his Christian faith. So he was made a saint and became the patron saint of England, but he was made a saint because he was basically put to death for refusing
to denounce Christianity.
His religion,
Yeah.
which at the time was Christianity,
Yeah.
and was prior to the birth of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
So at that time, Christianity was the book. If you think
It
about
was,
it,
yeah.
If you think about our historical
The timeline.
yeah. If you think
says
about the timeline,
that Christianity, that was the teaching.
so in effect,
They were
at
living
that time,
in the era of Jesus.
In the era of
May Allah-
Jesus.
May Allah be pleased with him.
absolutely,
Alhamdulillah.
absolutely, and as such,
Peace be upon him. Alhamdulillah.
you know, we would term these people as Muslims.
Yeah.
They were known at the time as Christians.
Yes.
Just how it is, and he was a Christian.
Yes.
So he was the forerunner for Islamic and Muslim going forward.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Islamic beliefs and Muslims going forward. And he refused to denounce God.
Yes.
He said, no, I believe in God. I believe in Allah.
Yes.
He might not have used those words, although, given that he was of Palestinian origin, maybe he did.
Probably did use that
Maybe
word.
he
Yes.
did use the word Allah.
Yes.
But let's say he didn't. Let's say he referred to the, God.
Yeah.
We know Allah and God.
Yes.
Yes, we know. And because he refused to recant, because he refused to say, I do not believe in God, I am not a God, but because he refused to do that, he was set to death.
Yep.
And died in 303 AD.
Right.
And was then subsequently made a saint.
Right.
And then became the patron saint of England.
England. Okay. So.
Is he about as English as you can get?
No.
Palestinian?
Is
and
he
Greek?
English at all?
Well, this is. I mean, how do you? He came to England
Yeah.
as part of the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
He
okay.
was a part of the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah.
He came to England as part of the Praetorian Guard.
Yeah.
So one can only describe as an immigrant
Yes.
to this wonderful land.
Yeah.
And he brought with him what was then considered a foreign religion
Yes.
and refused to recant it
Yes.
and was set to death.
Yes. So,
Isn't that interesting?
what's this dragon all about then?
Oh, well, the dragon, to be fair, that was then written in myth. It was written in myth later.
Yes.
So when people wanted to big up St. George,
Yeah.
they went, oh, and he killed he killed a dragon. So that then became a myth. So according to legend, St. George was a Roman soldier born in what is now modern-day Turkey, it's saying in this one,
Yep.
in around 280 AD and died in 303. That we know. Very little is known about his early life, but it is believed he was born to a wealthy Christian noble family. When he grew up, he became a soldier and joined the retinue of Emperor Diocletian.
Wow. So, all these hard-right thugs
Yes.
who say, you should celebrate St.
You should be as
George's
English
Day.
as St. George. Oh, what? You mean a combination of either born in
Palestinian
Turkey, a combination of Palestinian and Greek who was born in Turkey? Is
Yeah.
that what you mean? We should be as English as that?
Yes.
Well, I think I am. Do you?
I think I'm
I feel
perhaps
like I
a
am.
little bit more English than that.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
So, who is George and the Dragon?
Allah.
Let's check. George and the Dragon describes a saint taming and slaying a dragon that demanded human sacrifices. The saint thereby rescues the princess, chosen as the next offering. But that was a myth written after, a legend written after he was made saint.
So it was utter nonsense.
Yes.
From start to finish.
Yes.
And celebrating St. George's Day is about as English as something that isn't English at all.
But the whole point is it is English. That's my point. It is English.
Right.
But what we're saying is that a Roman soldier of Greek, Palestinian and Turkish origin who was an immigrant to this country actually, because of his religious belief, became a saint in a time pre what we would see as formal Islam.
Yeah.
We know that Islam has existed for the whole of history. I'm not quibbling with that. But from a doctrine, from a word point of view, he was basically a Muslim because he was following the Islamic trade through history of one God. I believe in one God. He came to this country and somebody, and that it doesn't say who, said, "We're not having that. Say there is no God." And he went, "No." So they killed him. And because they killed him, he was made a saint.
Yes.
So the St. George, the patron saint of England, was an immigrant of from Turkey of Palestinian and Greek origin who believed in Allah.
Wow.
How cool is that?
So,
do you feel a little bit better about being English?
I
do.
Yes, I do.
It's brilliant.
And but I feel a little bit uncomfortable that these hard rightists
absolutely
have adopted this
exactly
and called it their own.
Yes,
as a and in terms of being utterly racist and bigoted
against such people.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and that's against people who believe in Allah, people who believe in God, and people from Palestine, Turkey, maybe even Greece.
That's paradox.
On the assumption what? Well, he was a Roman soldier, therefore he was as English as they come.
Paradox.
What?
Paradox.
How amazing is that, though?
Crazy. It's
so
self-contradictory.
Do you know what? I might start celebrating St. George's Day. I might start wearing the cross of St. George.
If they hadn't nicked it and called it their own.
I am being facetious. You know I'm not going to do that.
No.
But how cool is that? Because that, to me, is a brilliant representation of why England is so
brilliant.
Amazing.
Yes.
Is so amazing.
Yes.
Because its patron saint is from a foreign land who is a patron saint because he refused to recant Allah.
Alhamdulillah.
How amazing is that?
Brilliant. Should be more like him.
Yes, exactly. It's confirmed.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Like that.
So there we go.
Shall we...
Thought you might like that.
Shall we have a cuppa?
Yes, I think we should.
Inshallah.